Hello, everybody, and welcome. Today, a lot going on in the cryptocurrency world. First thing I want to talk about Ethereum futures are now trading on the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. This is big. This gives people, retail like stock investors, a chance to get into the cryptocurrency market. All these articles will be in the description below. And this is a good one from Coindesk. But as we can see, Bitcoin today 42,000, almost 43,000. Ethereum 17,000. We're getting there. One big reason why? Well, Ethereum for the CME, Tesla buys $1.5 billion in Bitcoin and plans to accept the cryptocurrency for payments. I saw that I'm not sure which cryptocurrencies that Tesla is going to accept, but at least Bitcoin. Probably Ethereum. People are going to, now that Tesla has announced to the SEC that they're going to hold Bitcoin on their books. They're on, the S&P 500 now. So that means if you buy an S&P 500 index stock as a retail investor, you are buying into cryptocurrency now in a very minute way, but you are now supporting Bitcoin just by supporting the S&P 500 index, which could help stabilize the stock market and continue to see it grow instead of some predicting a bubble burst because it's been held up by stimulus checks in the United States. So however you want to look at that, either way, having Bitcoin in Tesla's portfolio gives them a hedge against like a US dollar devaluation. That Tesla is the fifth most valuable company passing Facebook. The value of Bitcoin alone is in there somewhere. And then Elon Musk, I believe he's the richest man in the world at the moment. I know it jumps around a little bit, so depending on when you watch this, he was the richest man. So as Tesla grows, and they've grown like crazy. Stocks making, so this is today. Stocks making the biggest moves midday. Tesla. Shares of the electric car maker popped 1.6% after an SEC filing showed that Tesla bought $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin. The company said it bought the Bitcoin for more flexibility to further diversify and maximize returns on our cash. According to the fund. Tesla also said it would start accepting payments in Bitcoin in exchange for its products as well. See, this is good. From stocks to Bitcoin, investors bet the everything rally will continue. And I don't have access to this whole article, but a historic 9-month advance is raising expectations that vaccines and stimulus programs will keep markets surging into 2021. Yeah. And cryptocurrency adoption won't hurt. Dogecoin, the cryptocurrency of the world. Started as a joke, it's now spiking. Dogecoin, a digital currency created as a joke, is now the world's 10th largest cryptocurrency. That is incredible. Its price is up more than 1,600% so far this year, and it's February. Let's see. It's been cheerleaded by Elon Musk, Snoop Dogg, Gene Simmons of Kiss. And, this is a whole new level of behavioral finance that traditional legacy stock markets have just not had to deal with, really. We saw a little bit with GameStop recently, but it'll be really interesting to see how this all plays out. And I love this right here. So it's finally come to this. Dogecoin will be the cryptocurrency. And then here's Elon Musk's Twitter. The future currency of Earth. And then here's that same. Fun stuff. Alright, so what would be the future currency of Earth? The rise of cryptocurrencies with their own CBDCs. What is a CBDC? as crypto, this is from American Express, by the way. So everyone, cryptocurrencies are just going to be the latest, greatest flavor for enterprise, big business, little business. It's going to be, you're going to see this grow very, very, very rapidly. Basically, the difference between, I'll put this link below and you can read the whole thing, and it's got really good information. So a CBDC versus a cryptocurrency. The CBDC, it's basically got a fiat version of it. There's a tangible form like banknotes or coins. Cryptocurrencies, in most cases, do not have some sort of a tangible currency that they can tie or back that to, right? So a CBDC in the United States would be run by the Fed, and so on. Okay. And there's more. You can read the article. It'll explain everything in detail. Cashless transactions by country, and this is important, not just for digital currency by countries if they decided to work on some sort of project on their own, but also for cryptocurrency, because it's not going to be one cryptocurrency to rule them all, or one CBDC to rule them all. It's going to be the one that can make them all work together. The mediator of the group is going to be what everybody wants. So then you don't really have, everybody can have their preference and it all works together seamlessly. That's the product that customers want, even maybe if they don't know. So Korea, Sweden, Finland, US, Netherlands, excuse my bumbling there, UK, Belgium, and so on. Okay, so we talked about the American Express. CBDCs use digital tokens and tokens, blockchain technology to represent a country's official currency, the tangible part stuff. Unlike decentralized cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, CBDCs would be centralized and regulated by a country's monetary authority, like the Fed. While several governments are looking into viability of creating them, this is important. No official country nobody's actually got one that's up and running 100%. There's some trials and some stuff here and there. So, virtual currencies have gained immense popularity owing to the decentralized and regulation-free nature and have become a threat to the present-day traditional banking system that operates under the purview and control of a country's regulatory authorities, such as central banks. There is no clarity about any suitable reserve maintenance to back up the valuations of cryptocurrency. And additionally, the continued launch of new cryptocurrencies has also raised concerns about the possibility of scams, theft, and hacks. That is important because that's where regulation is going to get cryptocurrencies. It's going to be in the name of preventing scams, thefts, and hacks. Whether it does or does not, that's their Achilles heel right there. Unable to control the growth and influence of such cryptocurrencies, many leading central banks across the globe are working on contemplating launching their own versions of cryptocurrencies, such as a digital yuan. So now, could the digital yuan, because they're on it right now with the digital yuan, they really want to get this into, is it capable of collapsing, say, the US dollar? Well, the answer to that, there is no fear, gloom, and doom. No. Not in any time soon. The US dollar is too strong. So here's what you would need for the US dollar to collapse. There must be something to replace it, and then there must be an underlying weakness in the value of the US dollar. Otherwise, the dollar will remain the world's global currency, and the majority of international contracts demand US dollar payment or in US dollars or backed by US dollars compared to it's. So there is no viable currency alternative for everyone to just jump in and dump the dollar. Plus, it wouldn't be good for the rest of the world. So here's what we're talking about: an underlying weakness and a viable alternative. A huge economic triggering event that destroys confidence in the dollar, like if Japan or somebody dumped their dollar, would be bad for them as it much or not worse than it would be for the US. So no, the dollar is going to be around for a minute. However, like the railroads, even though we think or they think sometimes everything failed. Not, I mean, it doesn't have to fail. So, for example, there's an article written by Theodore Levitt in the 1960s, and it's called Marketing Myopia. And what that is a short-sightedness of marketing in the industries or in general, right? And so, for example, somewhere along the way, there's a reference with a bullwhip, and as the buggies were replaced by the automobile, the buggy whip company, that's all they made was buggy, like to whip your horse to make your buggy go. Well, they were like, well, that's it. That was our product. That's all we made. And the argument is, well, no, you were in the transportation industry and you made the vehicles move. So instead of making buggy whips, you could have made fan belts or auto parts or something. So you had the wrong perspective, is basically the article. And here's a link to the Harvard Business Review. And this is a refresher of marketing myopia. So it's more of a contemporary take on the 1960s article, which is actually pretty accurate for as old as it is in all sorts of industries, right? So basically the railroads, they connected the United States from side to side or whatever country, and people felt unfair because the governments backed them, they could run it. It was hard to compete with the railroads, and they didn't think that cars would replace them. They were subsidized by people, banks, it was just a clear winner, and this article will be in below. But the point of it is, the Romans never thought they were going to fail. The US dollar never thought it was going to fail. Fiat currency never thought it was going to fail. Traditional stock markets never think they're going to fail. Traditional banks don't think they're going to fail. And everybody throws shade on the product that's pushing them out of the industry because they've lost the perspective. Instead of focusing on meeting the needs of the consumer. So cryptocurrency is trying to meet the needs of the consumer better than conventional banks, conventional fiat currency, and everything else. What they want to do is make it so you can use your money without having to pay a bank to do it, having to wait for their hours to do it, having to ask permission to do this, that, the other, wait for a clearinghouse and then having days and days and multiple mediaries with fees here, and it gets out of hand. But the way they look at that is more, you have to use their product, so you have to pay their fees. As people understand that they don't have to do that, and that they can use cryptocurrency as an alternative, or, maybe digital currencies later will help, incorporate more people. Then the bankless, because there's a lot of people that don't have bank accounts, but they have phones, and they can join in the fight too, right? So the Chinese economy is going to overtake the US by 2028. That doesn't affect that the US dollar, and it doesn't make their money now the biggest, right? Things will still be based on the US dollar. However, this is that underlying weakness that kind of slowly chisels away at the US dollar, that eventually over, periods of time or unforeseen circumstances can start to devalue that US dollar, and then bring it down to where now, okay, things are starting to take more of its market share. People are slowly liquidating their US assets and putting them into something else, or changing them to a different, pair combination. So many countries are doing these digital currency pilots. China has a CBDC, they're working on a currency and stuff. Ukraine, Sweden, Uruguay. But these aren't cryptocurrency. These are centralized. More news today along this whole countries and what they're doing. India's going to say they're going to have another crypto ban. For as long as I think I've been in crypto, I think India's been trying to ban crypto. It seems like every 6 months or a year they have a bill to ban it. And I think what that is they're just trying to scare their people away from the value that's in there. But maybe not. I don't know. I know that India is becoming a highly digitalized economy. So All right. In solar. In solar is looking. Oh, hang on. That was. We'll look at that in a minute. Let's continue right here. Haha, teaser. Anyway, if you like this, subscribe. Click the notification so you can get these as I make them. I'm kind of unpredictable on the times. We're working on that, and then hit the like button if you got some value out of this. I will talk about it in solar, and I know everybody's mostly here for that, and I think that this stuff is important right here because it helps you understand the bigger concept, the macro perspective of your economy, your world economy, the interactions of cryptocurrency. Because it's not. Some people get country centric or whatever. They. Like if you're in the United States, you think, oh, well, like Ripple. The SEC is banning Ripple in the United States, and that's big news because there's a lot of money in the United States does. But the rest of the world is still using Ripple. You can buy Ripple on KuCoin. You can't buy it like on Coinbase in the United States because that's the rules that, govern. But anyway. So here I looked at if you had $100 in the year 2000, it would be worth $265 in the year 2040. That's a prediction. And it's about the same if you had, I think it's $65 less for 2020. It's $100 less. So from the year 2000 to the year 2020, $100 went to 150. So that means basically the buying power is less, right? So $100 only has the buying power now of 60 something dollars. And if you go into the future to 2030 again, I don't know what happened there, but I think I changed it. Here's 2040. So 265. You can see from in 40 years you're going to lose a little bit less of that value. But so the US dollar is declining just because of inflation. Okay. Last point on here before we talk about in solar. Cryptocurrency legalities by country. So here, Bitcoin in China is illegal if you use it as a form of currency. And many other countries are the same way. So Nigeria, Venezuela, what's that? Bolivia, Ecuador, Iceland. So these are, and green is good to go, or pretty much good to go, or real close, right? So now if we continue along our little path here, this is chain analysis, rank of individual weighted metrics. Okay, let's see. Anyway, these are the most top cryptocurrency country adoption in the world. People using the most, right? Venezuela, illegal. Third most cryptocurrency used. China, fourth. Nigeria, 8. Do you see just because a country makes it illegal doesn't mean their people are not using it. So China, for example, didn't ban Bitcoin entirely. They basically say as long as it's a commodity, and even then they're not going to really regulate it. But basically, in summary, the state does not prohibit Bitcoin's activities as virtual commodities, except for the activities that Bitcoin engage in as legal tender. So if it's a currency, then additionally, since Bitcoin does not constitute money in China, as the government has not approved Bitcoin as a legal tender, and since Bitcoin is not used as an alternative to the legal tender of fiat currency, it should not be associated with illegal transactions. The prohibited transactions include those when Bitcoin is used as a currency. That's basically redundant. So all those people are not using it. Maybe, because you can mine it and stuff. Because I know they have a lot of mining too, don't they? Bitcoin's market cap could hit $1 trillion. So currently the market cap of cryptocurrencies was like just over $1 trillion. So Bitcoin could pretty much be where all of cryptocurrency is at the beginning of January 2021. And here we go. I made you wait. In solar, Well, here we go. Look at this. 22.5%. We saw, you know, this I believe is a 4-hour. And when we run over here to Telegram, people are excited. I read through, and there were some questions to Stan, and basically they were asking about the quarterly report for early 2021, which won't be out until the quarter's over, and the end of quarter for the last one. The last quarterly report was in November, and it's available on one of the links that I put below, or in one of the previous videos, or in solar.io. So we see green to the stars, XNS. People are happy. Are their kids happy? All right. So what's the price? Pushing on 0.8 cents again, and we've seen over here before when we get, we're getting a good level of support right here at this 0.006. And hopefully we'll get another one of these, and maybe some announcements and some burn announcements and some swap completion announcements on Binance, and just a whole Easter basket full of stuff coming up. When we look at XNS to BTC, we're looking at 18 Satoshis coming up. Up. That's really it. I don't see any new news for XNS, so that's kind of why I just throw it in as a tidbit at the end of all these. Once they know, they'll announce, and you'll be the first to know when I find out. But once we get to the moon, who knows? Maybe we'll be going for more destinations. It's a big solar system, and there's a lot of money. A lot of different things are changing, and with Bitcoin now as part of the S&P 500 index, Ethereum on the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, more coins will follow. More businesses will buy Bitcoin like crazy. Bitcoin price is going to skyrocket. Not financial advice. These are just my, assumptions. And Ethereum is going to be big. Ethereum isn't even really up to its full potential right now because its gas fees are expensive. It doesn't have the transactions per second that really are, the customers need. And that's, once things actually get to where they're scalable for the applications that they were intended for, money will come. It's going to be insane. All right. Cheers, everybody.